Hey there, it's Dina from IDon'tGetItTutoring.com. Today we're going to be talking about monomials, binomials, and trinomials. Now, I know they sound super complicated, but I can assure you they're really not. The definition's actually super simple and pretty easy to learn. Basically, what they are is they indicate how many terms there are in an expression. And what is a term? Well, that's what we're going to find out right now. The term. You've probably heard of terms before. They're in patterns. Well, generally, in algebra, terms are the collection of things multiplied together. And I stress multiplied. And terms can be numbers or even variables. So, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the basic whole integers, or even negative numbers too, right? Like -5, -7, even 0 is a term. Also, fractions like 1/2, decimals like 4.5. If you really think about it, fractions and decimals are basically the same thing. So, of course, they're both types of numbers. Also, pi. Pi can also be a term. Even long, irrational decimals can also be terms in an expression. Now, variable-wise. Now, variables, I'm sure you've seen the two very basic ones. You've heard about them a million times. They are basically the basis, the foundation of algebra. And what are they? My friends, x and y. But if you really think about it, any letter could really be a variable, like A, K, H, Z. Even shapes too, like a triangle. That could also be delta. Square, smiley face. Oop, that's not a cute smiley face. Let me fix that one. There we go. Now, anything could really be a variable. Now, when I say multiplied, I can also mean divided. But wait, it just said multiplied and multiplied only. Division isn't the same thing as multiplication. Well, actually, yes it is. Multiplication and division are basically the same thing. So, let's take 50 divided by 2. Now, you can also write this as 50 divided by 2, or 50 times, oops, not what I meant to do, or 50 times 1/2. Both things will give you the same answer. 50 divided by 2 in a fraction is 25, and also 50 times 1/2 can also be written as 50 divided by 2, right? Because put this under 1, 50 times 1 is 50, 1 times 2 is 2. 50 divided by 2, or 50 times 1/2, is also equal to 25. So, yeah, also kind of explains why fractions are variables as well. But it is super, super, super important to remember that terms are always, always, always things multiplied together, and only multiplied or divided together. It cannot be addition and subtraction, and we're going to go into that right now. So let's talk about the meat of what we're here for: monomials, binomials, and trinomials. Now, let's figure out what these really long, complicated words mean. All right, monomial. You could kind of tell what it already means by the definition. Mono. Mono is the Greek prefix for one. Mono. So that means 1. Okay, so that means one term only. Now, example of monomials could be single number, a number times a variable, like 5x, or even just a bunch of them multiplied together, right? Like 36yx, or even 36yx squared, right? Because x times x is x squared, just a bunch of things multiplied together. Even, let's bring pi into this. Let's do 36 pi. You could square that too. See? So these are all monomials. One term, one small term, one small expression. Now, binomial. The prefix bi, can you guess what it means? That means two, like bicycle. Two terms. Now, these two terms are separated by addition or subtraction. Also why I said it's super important to know that multiplication and division are inside terms and addition and subtraction are outside of them. They separate them. So, an example of a binomial would be, for example, let's take some of these monomials up here. 2 plus 5x. Or 36yx minus 5x. That's also another binomial. Or even 36y minus x squared. Now, this and this are not the same thing. They're two different things. But this is an example of a binomial, and this is an example of a monomial. This one has only multiplication inside of it. This one is separated by subtraction. So two different things. They have different results, different outputs, if you were to plug in a number for the variables. And now, on to trinomials. Actually, let me zoom out so you guys could see all the definitions that we write here. Trinomial, once again, prefix tri, like tricycle, 3 wheels, 3 terms. 3 terms separated by subtraction or addition or subtraction and addition. So an example, you guessed it, let's use some of these terms that we have up here. Bunch of monomials separated by the 2 operations, addition and subtraction. So 2 plus 5x plus 36yx would be 1. Or 2 minus 5x minus 36yx, also 1. You could also do 2 minus 5x plus 36yx. All of these are trinomials. Now that we know the definitions, let's go over some rules that I've probably already said tons of times, but it's always good to repeat them so you remember them. Remember, terms are always separated by, come on, let's fill in the blanks. Oh wait, well, not this. Here we go. And, okay, so they're always separated by addition and subtraction only. So, for example, if you see 36x squared divided by 2, this whole thing is a monomial. Don't let the extra 2 on the bottom trick you, because once again, we're dividing, and this could be further simplified, right, into, do the math. I'll give you a second to do that. (18x squared), which is also a monomial. Okay, And multiplication and subtraction always are within the term as we illustrated in this example right here. Now, you're basically an expert at this. I told you all there is to know about monomials, binomials, and trinomials. So let's practice. Oh, and one more thing to add. If you hear polynomial, poly means many. So, meaning more than 3 or 3 and more. I like to use trinomial because it's a little more specific, but sometimes people will refer to a trinomial as a polynomial because it has more than 2 or more than 3. Okay, now let's practice with some practice questions. Take time to pause and do these problems on your own, and I will go over them shortly. So feel free to go ahead and pause if you need. For number 1, we have 3x squared. For number 2, we have 2 times 399. For number 3, we have 3y plus 3x plus 3. And for number 4, we have 299 divided by 3. Okay, ready? Let's go over it. So number 1, 3x squared. I see no addition, no subtraction. I see 3 times x squared, and x squared is x times x. So if it's 3 times x, and it's only separated by multiplication, boom, monomial. I'm just going to write mono, bi, and tri for the answers, okay? So I don't have to write the whole thing out. Next one, number 2. 2 times 399. Once again, only multiplication. I don't see any addition or subtraction. So once again, it is a monomial. Next, 3y plus 3x plus 3. I see a lot of addition. I see addition here and I see there. So that means it's not a monomial. It's not one term. It's more than one term. So is it 2 or 3? Or 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Trinomial. Last one is 299 divided by 3. Now, remember what we said, the big, very important rule that we had gone over. 299 divided by 3, what operation is being done here? Division. And what's the division the same thing as? Multiplication. And what's within a term? Multiplication, aka division. So, it's a monomial. Monomial. And there you go. If you got all of them right, bravo. Great job. And if you didn't, it's okay. I have practice questions on the website so you could keep practicing. Great job today. Good luck and thank you for watching. Bye.